Hello, Carla. Thank you so much
Hello.
for joining us today. Your film
Thank
really
you.
made an impact on our team with the storyline itself as much as with the visuals. It is a very impressive portrayal of Spanish family and culture, as well as the society in the 1980s. On top of that, it's a real eye candy. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So in the film, you explore your personal story. In one interview, you mentioned how during the creative process, you had to add quite a few elements to make the story function. What moved you when creating those fictional elements?
Yes. Well, hello everyone. First of all, you can hear me well, right? Because
Yes.
I only hear you through the mic, so good. Okay. So yeah, basically, well, it tells my story somehow because I lost my parents also when I was a kid, and I didn't meet my biological dad's family since I was 18. But I didn't meet them all at once. I met first a couple of uncles, and they were living in Madrid. So my first trip to meet my family was actually in Madrid. And then later I met my grandparents, and even later some of my aunts and some of other uncles, and then at the end I went to Galicia. So it was a trip that I made during like a long time, but I put it all together in 5 days for Marina, so it could work as a kind of family tour. No, I like the idea of having an episodic film, no, where she keeps meeting people and trying to investigate her own story. And then, yeah, that my family structure is a bit different. The characters are quite fictionalized because I don't know my dad's family so well. And then also the story of my parents, because at the end it's a film about memory and how and this impossibility to know the truth and what really happened. No, so I think that there are some things that I've been told about my parents that are in the film, but then there are some others that I made it up. Like for example, the whole thing about the year that her dad died. This is something that worked very well in terms of like dramatic arc for Marina, but it's something that it didn't happen to me, no? So there is a lot of fiction in the film.
You. I find it pretty interesting that the actress who plays Marina also plays her own mother, and I was surprised that the actor who plays Marina's cousin also portrays her father. Could you tell us more?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, this has to do with the way our memory works. So I realized that I only have few pictures of my mom, only one video where I can see her moving. I have her letters that I turned into a diary for the film. So the letters for me were giving me a lot of information. And then the same for my dad. Like I have some pictures and then some Super 8 from when he was a kid. But if I try to imagine them moving, it's so hard, because I don't have enough information to actually be able to create this image in my mind. So I thought a lot about how imagination works, which is very similar actually to dreams, and we imagine through things that we've seen or we've learned or we've lived, no? And so I decided that everything that Marina imagines for her parents' story had to be made of what she has discovered during this trip, no? And so many things that she imagines, like some of the shots of the landscape are exactly the same shot that she shot with the video camera. Some of the things that happen in this imagined part, she's been told during this trip, or the locations where she visited them are again there in the imagined part, no? And for the characters, it was the same. Like everyone is telling her that she looks like her mom. So it was kind of natural that she transformed to her mom, and also, she just met her cousin, and she kind of likes him, and he likes sailing as her dad. So it kind of was a natural thing for her to imagine him as her father. No? It was like a game, thinking of how imagination works.
Thank you. So the main actress, Lucia Garcia, is absolutely brilliant. Her acting is so gentle, charming, and charismatic. How did you meet her?
So we met her on the street because, well, we saw a lot of people for this role. It was very difficult to find someone who could do both, like Marina and her mom, and it was different personalities, so it was hard. And we found some girls that were very good for Marina, some girls that were very good for the mom, but to do both, it was difficult. So we saw a lot of people, and then at the end, we ended up like also walking around the street in places where we could find young people and watching them and seeing if they were interesting. So she was coming back from a Boy Scouts meeting with her backpack, and the casting team stopped her on the street and invited her to come with us. And the first time she came, it was with her friends, just in case we were gonna kidnap her, just to make sure that it was a real thing. And I remember that when I saw her, I could imagine her like doing this trip from the right attitude, no? So I could see that she was curious, that she could observe, that she was very tolerant with everything around her, and not judging the people, which was also important for me, for the character, no? And then I remember I asked her, "What are you afraid of?" And she said that she was afraid of looking silly in front of the others. And I realized that somehow this gave me some clue of her being conscious that she was giving an image of innocence, that it was not only that she was not only that she had another part of herself that was very different from that, no? And this helped me to understand somehow that she could also play the role of the mom.
Thank you. That is so sweet. At this point of the interview, I would like to give the audience a chance if anyone wants to ask a question or makes a comment on the film. Anyone? Okay. Okay, then I'll ask another one. The film's main motif is quite personal, but at the same time, it briefly addresses wider social issues of that time, drug use, the AIDS epidemic, shame. I imagine the combination of these themes certainly carried an emotional weight. How did you feel when addressing these issues during the creative process?
Well, for me, it was like a very big drive to make this film, no? Because when I thought, well, it's not only my story, I feel it's the story of many other people in Spain. So it's worth telling, no? And what happened, just to give some context, is that in Spain, like we had this long dictatorship with Franco until 75. So my parents' generation were the children who were raised during Franco dictatorship, and everything was forbidden, and it was a very conservative and Catholic and right-wing society. And then suddenly he died, and freedom arrived, and they kind of embraced it, and it was a very happy period. But also a lot of heroin came in, so a lot of drugs, and many people ask like why nobody stopped this. And some people have this theory that while young people were into drugs, they were not into politics because it was a transition into democracy. It was a delicate moment politically wise. And I think that probably it's true that the government didn't do anything to stop how much heroin was coming into Spain, and we had what they call like a heroin crisis, because a lot of young people got hooked into heroin. I mean, it was a moment where they were just living the present and experimenting and embracing freedom, and they were very innocent. They didn't know anything about the consequences of heroin, and they didn't know that later age would arrive, no? So many people lost their life during like young people during this time. And I feel that it's a generation that it's very important for our history, because they are the ones who kind of broke with the old values and brought like new and more progressive ideas to the country. But it's hard to talk about it because all the stigma and the taboo, no? So I feel that it's a generation that has been silent somehow. And for me it's good that we kind of talk again about them, no? And I'm now that I'm doing some Q&As in cinemas in Spain, I'm so surprised how there is always someone that tells me, I don't know, I had an uncle who died, or a friend of my mom, or someone close, or so you realize that it was a big thing in Spain. Mm.
Thank you. So something that really moved me was the scene when Marina climbs to the roof of the skyscraper. That moment gave me chills. So I felt the surrealistic visual style completed Marina's longing for peace and the relationship with her parents. How did you feel about that?
Mm. Yes, for me, it was very liberating, because at the end, the film was born out of my frustration of not being able to know the love story of my parents, no? And when I tried to actually reconstruct it through others, no? And I realized that the pieces of the puzzle usually don't match because memory is very subjective and selective, no? But then I realized that I have cinema to create these memories that I don't have, and these images that I need in order to, to tell my story somehow, no, and the one of my family. So it was. I felt very free, no, to create this part, and for me it was very important to go from reality to fantasy through images that could really tell the audience that we were entering a new world that was not real, but that would be like a very important journey for Marina, no?
Thank you. Marina never leaves her Super 8 camera. Did you also document your Romería through Galicia alongside the journey of discovering your father's family?
Yeah, the thing is that, I film my family a lot, and now that I have kids, I film them. I feel that filming family is something that I love. But this family, I just can not film them because I don't know them so much. No? So each time that I go to Galicia, the way that I relate to my parents is more through the places, no? Because at the end, places stay and people pass, no? And I feel that Vigo, the city of my dad and his family, is a place that I relate a lot to my parents, because also my mom was living there in the 80s with my dad. It was a city where in the 80s there was a lot of music bands and a lot of movement and a lot of young people, so each time that I go there, I can kind of connect with them, no? I don't know if they were in this bar or this other bar, but somehow I feel that they pass there. So it's a place that I've shot a lot with my camera, just empty spaces, but just like kind of a research, no? To try to find the places where they pass. And for me, that was very interesting to give this camera also to Marina to kind of feel this research that she's doing.
That's great. I would like to give the audience one more chance if anyone has changed their minds to make a comment, a question.
It's just a comment. It's just a thank you, because I've seen all your features and I love the way how you tell stories with such a gentle voice, and everything happens in small moments, in gestures between people, and it always touches my heart. So thank you for all your films, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. And I wanted to ask the post notes, are these something that is connected to your next project? Can I be so curious?
Yes. Well, thank you first of all. Actually, I wish they were from my new project, but this is from Romería. It's very old because I've been so busy. Also, I had another child, my second child, like 3 months ago. So I couldn't actually sit down to prepare my next film. But I have many ideas in my head, and I can say that it's going to be something different, because I feel that somehow Romería closes a kind of cycle of films about my family that are very connected to my families, because I have big families with like, biological and adoptive and everyone, no? But then now that I had my own kids, and I don't know, I feel that I don't want to look back to the past anymore. I want to try new things. So we are preparing a flamenco musical. which is something very new to me. But it's a world that I really feel like exploring.
Thank you.
But it's not in the post-it yet.
Thank you. So for the final question, I'm curious about your relationship with filling gaps in memories, as this was the main motive in the story. Do you think that once these gaps are filled, the memories can still be changed?
Yes, I think the memories, you cannot trust memories because they change all the time. And you know what I discovered while making this project is that memory works in a very particular way, is that we don't remember the fact or what really happened. We remember the last time we remember it, which means that in our own mind, it keeps changing all the time. And it depends on like what moment of your life you are, or it also depends on like your need and your emotions, no, that the memory can keep changing. And plus I also made this thing of like mixing my memories with fiction, making films. So I think that whenever I tell some stories to my grandchildren, I will have to make sure to tell them that they cannot totally trust it, you know, because at the end yeah, they transform a lot. And the film helped me somehow to liberate myself from this frustration of not being able to know the truth, and understand that somehow if my parents were alive and I asked how was her love story, probably I couldn't totally trust it either. So I think that yeah, we're a little bit free to imagine what we want.
Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. And of course, the biggest thanks for taking the time to talk with us. On behalf of the whole Kinotrips team, we sincerely thank you and wish you a lot of creative energy and many future success. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. It was so nice to talk to you. Bye.